Today, we're flying on one of Asia's best airlines, EVA Air, on their 777-300ER from Taoyuan Airport in Taipei to Toronto Pearson Airport in Canada. But with an extremely dated hard product and stiff competition from two other incredible Taiwan-based carriers, is EVA Air still worth it? Or are you better off going with one of the many other amazing carriers in the region? Let's find out on today's flight. But first, our trip starts off here at EVA's Infinity Lounge inside Taoyuan Airport in Taipei.
Hi, so I am currently here in Taoyuan Airport here in Taipei, and this is going to be a really interesting flight just because I just got off a connecting flight from Tokyo Narita to Taipei on EVA Air's brand new business class on their 787s. I will link the video here if you want to watch it. They are absolutely stunning. They are definitely something to be seen, but it will be interesting because on this flight, of course, we'll be flying on the 777 from Taipei to Toronto, and the 777s have the older business class seats, so it'll be a good comparison of old versus new, especially since I'm doing these flights back to back. We'll see if the older business class seats are still worth it. But right now, I am here in the Infinity Lounge of EVA, which you do have access to as a business class passenger, or Royal Laurel class as EVA Air likes to call it. Let me show you guys around.
The Infinity Lounge is located on the 4th floor of Terminal 2 in Taoyuan Airport. Given EVA size, the lounge is actually quite small. In terms of food, there's a self-service buffet area with many local offerings. Honestly, the food at this lounge was very mediocre, which is both surprising and disappointing considering Taiwan itself has some excellent cuisine available. It's unfortunate that one of their major airlines doesn't reflect that, at least when it comes to the lounge. My recommendation would be to save your appetite for the flight instead. In terms of other amenities, there's a workstation area, storage lockers, and shower rooms. But overall, it's a pretty standard lounge if you ask me. But that's enough about the lounge. Let's get going to our flight now. At the gate, the crew starts boarding first, of course. I always love seeing the EVA uniforms. I think they always look super chic. Shortly after the crew boards, it's now our turn to board. As a Royal Laurel business class passenger, we do get to board in Group 1 after passengers that need special assistance. Our 777-300ER today has 39 Zodiac Cirrus seats in Royal Laurel business class that are arranged in a reverse herringbone pattern with a 1-2-1 configuration. If you're sitting in one of the center seats, there's a privacy divider in between them. I, however, am sitting in a window seat today, seat 7K. Unfortunately, my window seat is missing a window, so avoid my spot if you're a window lover like I am. The other business class seats all have 2 windows. Now for a quick seat tour. These seats were released by EVA back in 2005 and have a 20-inch width between armrests. Needless to say, after 20 years, they're not exactly cutting edge. There are no doors, no wireless charging, no Bluetooth audio, no 4K IFE. I will say that the cushioning on the seats and the headrest are thick and plush, which makes them comfy. There's also a good amount of storage space with compartments in the side table and a storage area by the headrest. This is what the footwell looks like. In true reverse herringbone style, it's a bit narrow, but since I'm short, it worked fine for me. Taller people with large feet might have issues though. Before takeoff, we're given a hot towel, but strangely enough, there was no welcome drink. It's now time for takeoff, and after we get into the air, the flight attendants stop by to offer us some pajamas. But we'll take a look at these a little bit later on in the flight. In the meantime, here's what the menus look like. There's a menu that features Michelin star restaurant Yu Yu Lu in Taiwan, in addition to the standard menu, which is pretty extensive in itself. As for the drinks, it's also quite extensive like the food menus are. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like to read the menus in more detail. But in addition to the standard menu on board, if you pre-order online, you'll have a huge list of additional options to choose from. In fact, there are 17 choices available if you pre-order online, so I'd recommend you do that if you want to maximize your options. After pulling out my tray table, it gets dressed with some white linens and cutlery. We're offered some bread first, and I of course choose the garlic bread, which is delicious and has the perfect bounce to it. Next, the hors d'oeuvre arrives. It's smoked salmon rolled with apple horseradish sauce and a prawn with groubiche dressing. Groubiche, by the way, is a French sauce made with eggs and mustard. Although there wasn't any sauce to be found anywhere on this plate. This was really great. It was fresh and light and a nice start to the meal. Next came a cream soup with bacon. This was the perfect amount of creaminess with a hint of smoky bacon to it. Finally, to finish off the appetizers, a garden salad. It was fresh, and I really appreciated the attention to detail with these butterfly-shaped carrots. Next came the main. Now, what I had actually pre-ordered online was this braised pork belly with preserved vegetables and steamed rice, but they ended up bringing me this A5 Wagyu with chicken memeshi instead. The FA was extremely apologetic about them not having my correct meal, but it's fine. These things do happen sometimes. This tasted good, even though it was extremely ugly and looked like the end piece of a loaf of bread nobody wants. But it was surprisingly rich and very tender. As for the chicken kamameshi, it was even better than the steak was, and never in a million years would I have ever thought that chicken could be better than A5 Wagyu. For the dessert, the FA pulls up with the dessert cart, which is always exciting for someone like me who has a really big sweet tooth. I love being able to see all the sweets laid out in front of me. I decided to go with some fruit as well as an apricot kernel custard puff. Both were delicious and a really great way to end the meal. With dinner done, let's check out the amenities. When you first arrive, there's a bottle of Avion water waiting for you at your seat. You also get a pair of slippers and pajamas by Taiwanese-Canadian designer Jason Wu. Considering you normally would only get pajamas in first class, it's an extra nice touch that EVA gives them out in business class. As for the amenity kit, it's by Giorgio Armani and comes wrapped in a silk-like bag. Inside the silky bag is a hard-shell leather Armani case that has good weight to it and really feels high-end. Inside the amenity kit, you'll find some earplugs, a dental kit, an EVA comb, and some lotions and lip balm from Australian skincare brand Jurlique. It also comes with one of the most interesting looking eye masks. It looks like something Ben Stiller would have worn in Zoolander. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. And as an added bonus, there's also this small leather pouch, which I think would be great for loose change. And now it's time to check out the bathroom and put on those pajamas. There are 3 washrooms available for business class passengers. The washrooms are stocked with dental kits, mouthwash, earplugs, and soaps and lotions from Australian brand Ideology. Now as for those pajamas, this is what they look like when they're on. They're really soft and comfortable. I would definitely wear these at home as pajamas as well. Alright, let's head back to our seat now so we can check out the bed in lie flat mode as well as the IFE. Back at the seat, the FA generously makes up my bedding for me. I always feel really bad when they do this because they're already so busy and I can really do this by myself, but she insisted. There's a mattress cover that goes over the seat as well as a pillow and a blanket, of course. The blanket is actually really plush and quite thick. I was impressed with it. Now as for the seat, this is what it looks like in fully lie flat mode. It's around 2 meters long or 76 inches in length. And this is what it looks like if you're lying down. It's really comfortable. The mattress pad is thick and provides a lot of cushioning. And for those wondering, this is what the footwell space looks like in lie flat mode as well. Okay, now let's talk about the headphones. They're Thunder by EVA and the same ones that they use on their newer 787s. They're noise cancelling and quite good. No complaints here. Now as for the IFE, it's 15.4 inches and does retract for easy viewing. It's definitely dated, but it's fine for the most part. Where it's lacking as well though is in the entertainment options, which are definitely not as plentiful as you'll find on other airlines. I spent the rest of the time mostly watching movies and TV shows, and throughout the flight the FAs did walk around with a basket of snacks that you could choose from. About an hour and a half before landing, it was now time for the pre-arrival meal, or the refreshing meal as EVA likes to call it. This is what the pre-arrival menu looks like. There were 3 options, a Chinese style, Western style, or Royal Laurel style. I decided to go with the Royal Laurel style meal, which was a squid noodle soup with dual stuffed shrimp, bamboo shoots with shredded pork, and stir-fried nest fern with dried baby sardines. This meal was absolute perfection. I wish I had eaten it twice. I mean, just look how juicy this stuffed shrimp is. Chef's kiss. And as we're about to land soon, let's talk about how much all this cost.
All right, since we're about to land soon, let's talk about how much all this cost. I did use points for this, 75,000 Aeroplan points plus around $120 in taxes and fees. The cash price seemed to range anywhere between, $3,000 up to as high as $8,000, depending on, when you were searching or who you were searching with. I did find that the cash prices seem to be much lower if you booked directly with EVA Air versus if you were searching with one of their partner airlines on a code share flight. That's when you started getting prices that were around the $8,000 mark, which was crazy. So definitely if you're booking with cash, probably best to book directly with EVA instead of one of their code share partners.
And in true EVA style, the crew stops by with some farewell candy, and I of course grabbed two of my favorites, the lime flavor and the kumquat flavor. And as we start to land and deboard the plane, let's talk about if EVA's Royal Lure Business Class on their 777-300 ERs with the older business class seats is still worth it. As I mentioned earlier, the seats are definitely dated, and having been released around 20 years ago, they definitely lack a lot of things that the modern traveler today would expect, like privacy doors, 4K entertainment screens, wireless charging, Bluetooth capability. But they're still pretty comfortable, especially with the bedding and the mattress cover. They're just not something that has wow factor compared to newer, more modern options from other airlines. EVA Air did announce recently that they would be retrofitting 14 of their 777s with a new business class seat design in the next couple of years, which is great news, of course. Although only 14 of the 33 777s they currently have would be receiving these new seats, which means you could potentially end up in a situation where there is a lack of consistency across their fleet. That's definitely something that could be frustrating as a customer. But we'll have to wait and see though how this pans out once they do start rolling out the retrofitted aircrafts. Where EVA does excel, of course, is their soft product. The food was great and the service was excellent, and I really did like the bedding and bonus pajamas a great deal. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments below if you think EVA is still worth it, or if you'd rather fly with another carrier with newer, more modern seats. As always, thanks for flying with me, and please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one.